Hey Kansas City, this is your girl Linda with It's My Home KC, and today we are hosting another episode, hosting a very nice person here on the studio. His name is Scott Willis, and before we get to him, let me tell you all about It's My Home KC. It's My Home KC is all about Kansas City. We host people from all over the city. They will tell us what has gotten them to where they are today, what inspires them, what are the challenges that they have encountered, and how that can help inspire you. We are all about educating the local community and also bettering our local community. So today we have Scott with us in the studio. Hi, Scott.
Hi, great to see you.
Yeah, Scott has a lot of good titles over here. He's a realtor, he's a dad, he's a networker, and if you're looking to connect with anybody in Kansas City, probably you should talk to him. He's also a musician. He plays the guitar and also sings. Welcome to the studio today, Scott.
Thank you very much.
So tell us a little bit about yourself growing up.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm originally from Kansas City, kind of grew up in the south end of town, a little south of Waldo, the Waldo area. Went to a Catholic grade school and a Jesuit college prep high school locally. And after that, I went to college just for a little while. Wasn't really doing well because I wasn't that interested at the time. I bet other people have kids, that are in that same situation. But decided to stop the education for a little while and start working. Got involved in a lot of sales type jobs. I really enjoyed, dealing with people and seeing if I could help them get what they wanted at that time. And so I did various sales and service type of jobs for several years. And then a little later on in my life, I decided to go back to school and finish my education. And I ended up graduating from the University of Kansas with a degree in psychology, a bachelor's in psychology. And I did that specifically because I wanted to go work in the mental health field. So I ended up working 16 years for Johnson County Mental Health Center. And again, the pleasure I got out of doing that type of stuff was just helping other families. I really enjoyed being the helper. And so I'm really used to serving people. I've had some other business ventures that I've done at first on the side and then full time, and then eventually found my way into real estate, which honestly I wish I'd have done sooner because I enjoy it so much. And my mother was a realtor for a very long time, well over 30 years. And I come from a background growing up, my dad was an excellent home builder, and he retired about 5 years ago after over 50 years of building homes here in the Kansas City area. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Let's go back a little bit. So you said you had to break out from school. At what point did you break out from school? Was that in high school? Was that...
After 3 semesters of college, I did quite poorly. Thank you very much. Okay. Why did I decide to break out from that? Well, my financial support dried up.
Oh.
In other words, Dad said, I'm not paying for that anymore if you're just going to go mess around. Right? And I was already living out on my own and rent and bills and all that. So I needed to get to work. And so that's kind of what got me away initially from doing that. And again, I enjoyed the jobs I had. I really enjoyed all the jobs that I had. Always felt like I was searching for the right fit.
Yeah. And when you said actually you like sales, that is something that most people would not actually say. Most people dread selling.
But the one thing I love about it is I have a mindset of I'm not trying to sell somebody something outside of, the use of my services, right? Because in real estate, I don't have a house to sell you, right? I can find you a house, right? Or I can help you sell your house, but
you won't say, here is a new house.
It's not like I'm making something and selling it, right? So anyway, but I just enjoy helping people and all the different all the different types of people, and everybody's situation is so different. It just makes it a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, and when you say selling houses, how is that different from selling, say, candy or selling clothes? How is that different?
Well, I don't know. I hadn't really thought much about selling candy. But, I've never been really, really big on selling a particular product. I was more interested in services that I could market, but And again, as a realtor, that's what we do. We provide a service.
You make other people's life easier. I know I've heard this story before, but probably some of our viewers have not heard it about it. I know you're a self-taught guitarist. Tell us about that.
It's funny. When I was in grade school, I played piano for a few years and felt like I was getting good at it, but I was a little more drawn to like a different style of music and the guitar in particular. I just thought if I could learn how to play guitar, that'd be great. And so I remember when I started playing when I was 15, and my father bought me an electric guitar. And I just holed up in my room for like the longest time, like kids with the video games do now, right? And I didn't have any lessons or anything like that. I kind of had to figure out what to do. I was listening to a lot of albums, at the time that I liked, and a lot of them were guitar based, and predominantly rock music type stuff. And I was just like, man, I think I can figure this out. And back in those days, if you're as old as I am, they had music stores you could go to and you could buy sheet music. And I kept trying to figure out, like, how am I going to learn how to play? And I would go look at sheet music, and I discovered that they had the little chord charts at the top. And I was like, okay, if I can just learn how to play those chords, then I can at least, get my feet wet and start to understand. And then after that, once I kind of got used to playing chords, it was just a situation where like I would hear things and kind of have an idea where on the guitar my fingers ought to go. And so I just kind of figured it out. And then all of a sudden patterns starting to develop, and so that's how I learned how to play. And I was pretty hard at it back in those days. And gosh, now I've been playing just short of 50 years. So.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is amazing.
Almost getting good at it.
So if you're self-taught, what do you think? Because most people, especially when you're young like that, when you're 15, we just want to touch and go. I want to do soccer. I don't think about it. I don't want soccer. I want to do baseball. I want to do guitar. I want to do this. I want to do this. And so at that age, how resilient were you to stay almost 50 years now in that career? What got you through that?
Okay. So when I was in high school, or just shortly after high school, I actually joined a group of guys in a band. And I just really enjoyed the camaraderie and the working together on a project like that. And that inspired me to be even better, because you don't want to be the worst guy in your band, right?
No.
Nobody wants to be that guy. So I just continued to work at it, and I just was really enjoying the process, and the results I was seeing. I figured, the closer I got to being able to, because I was just playing cover songs. I wasn't trying to write original music. That's not been an interest of mine, although I know a lot of people love that, right? But the closer you can get to playing a song and making it sound the way it sounded on the recording, that makes you feel pretty good about yourself. And so that's kind of what drove me to keep doing that sort of thing. I still do it today. I mean, I try to be as precise as I can.
Yeah, so you would say you enjoyed the process, and that is why it got you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that is a really good advice for anybody that is trying to do anything. You have to enjoy what you're doing, according to Scott, to be able to go at least that long and get at least that good. So tell us you said you've done covers. Who have you covered, or who is your favorite to cover?
Well, to be honest with you, until I was about 40, I never played in a group that was like successful or, really stuck. Then I kind of had the idea about putting a group together just for fun, and just not worrying about how many gigs or how much money or whatever, but something you talked about doing something that you enjoy doing, right? So I thought, gosh, like, who's a band that I would like to cover that I absolutely love their music, I can play it, I can sing it, and I just never get tired of, because sometimes you get worn out on certain songs, right? But I just was like never getting tired of playing. And the album, or the CD that I had at the time that I would play along with a lot of times after work when I was just trying to kind of decompress, was ZZ Top's Greatest Hits. Wow. And so I decided I was going to put together a little three-piece. They're a three-piece band. And see if I could replicate that kind of music and maybe just be a an opening act for somebody in town or something where they just needed a time filler, because a lot of times they do that, right? and I ended up putting a little group together. Don Leibarger, a really good buddy of mine over many years now, was the bass player in that group, and he and I were, we were like brothers, And come to find out that what I was doing, without really knowing what I was doing, was I was creating a tribute band. And we expanded upon that a little bit. ZZ Top has the long beards and the fancy outfits and all that. And I was told that if we did those sorts of things and emulated like one of their shows, that we would get a lot of shows. I didn't really know anything about it. And tribute bands weren't even really that popular at that point, like 2001. And so we did that, and we did a couple little shows just for like beer and food. There was no money involved, but we just had a good time. One of them was down at Sedalia at the State Fair, and then somebody from there asked me if I would be willing to do like a 45-minute set in Lawrence at Liberty Hall, which is a historic place. And I was like, oh yeah, we'd be happy to do that. And so we went and played there, and they recorded it. I didn't even know I was being recorded. And a few weeks later in the mail, this shows you how long ago this was, I got a VHS tape. Got a VHS tape in the mail, and it had a couple of songs, and they were all like different camera angles and mixed really nicely, sounded great. And I thought, what a great gift from those guys, to send me that. What I didn't know is that they sent that same video out to all the booking agents all around the Midwest. Oh, wow. And my phone started ringing. Oh, wow. Yeah, and people wanted me to come to big events like all over the country. So I started doing that in 2000. It was shortly after 2001, 2002, I think. And we started traveling around the United States playing big events. We became very popular. I did some international stuff too. Oh, wow. And yeah, we did that for 13 years, primarily weekends, and from May through about September. And so that's kind of my claim to fame, I guess, when it comes to the music stuff. But what a wild thing to have happen kind of unexpectedly.
And you had to wait almost like another 20 years or so.
Yeah, everybody when they're young, like in their early 20s, they want to be a rock star, right? I get to start when I'm about 41.
and so that is actually one of the things that probably the young generation would learn right now, but it doesn't take a snap of a finger. Sometimes it takes time, and it's not always what you're trying to get in front of the people, because there's always somebody in the background looking at what you're doing, and they're just waiting for the time to be right, and then you're going to get introduced to really good people. And that is amazing. I love that.
Thank you.
And I have seen the picture with you all dressed up with
the beard.
With the beard,
the hat, and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Is that what you're wearing for this Halloween?
No, that's not scary enough.
What is scary right now for you?
Scary? Oh, there's so many different costumes that people wear like around Halloween time, And I think maybe I've just been taking the easy road out lately, because like we had an event last night that was kind of fun, and my gal and I dressed up as like hippies from the 70s, and everybody thought that was really cool. Not scary either, So I don't know, but some of the masks that they, like the kids are wearing and stuff like that are really wild looking stuff. Spooky stuff,
Yeah, I saw a kid all dressed black from head to toe, no eyes, no nothing, and he's going like that. So I'm like, no, don't come to me. That is so scary. But yeah, so to your other life, you live like a double life, right? So you have your life with Audio Bus, which is your band, and then you have your life as a business executive and a realtor. And how is that living those double lives?
They kind of overlap, and that also includes the networking, because like right now I have a band that does like 90s alternative rock, again, just for fun around town. We like to play a couple times a month if we can, and my networking friends all come out and watch me play. Oh, wow. So like we hang out in a lot of different settings. So that's pretty cool. And they all know I'm a realtor, and I get referrals for some people, and that's always appreciated. But, with the networking stuff, again, just the building of the relationships with so many people. You never know what's going to result from that. And that's one of the reasons why I love that too.
And how long ago did you discover that networking is a thing?
I would say probably 11 or 12 years ago is when I really started getting involved in networking. I kind of went out on my own with a service, and I just knew that I was going to have to approach people and let them know about what I was doing. And so I started doing that in some really small venues. And then that kind of transitioned into doing some larger groups. And I kind of like the open groups because, I mean, as a realtor, I'm not threatened when there's other realtors in the room.
No.
You know, because people are going to do business with who they like, who they trust, who they're drawn to. And so I figure I got a fair shot at that, right?
Yeah, right.
Some of the other groups that are, industry specific, there's nothing wrong with them, but that's just not where I gravitate.
Yeah, I also believe in the same principle that there's enough pie for everybody, whether you're a musician, whether you're in business, whether you're trying to find a job, there's enough pie for everybody. And so if it's not for you, it's okay. You can always hand it down to somebody else that it is for. And I think that is a very powerful message. And so having lived all those decades that you've already lived.
I hope I got a couple more left.
What would you say, or what would you tell your younger self?
Well, one of the things that I wish I would have done earlier on was really focus in on what it was that was a good fit for me and my personality. When I got involved in the psychology degree and stuff like that, that's because I asked a lot of people, professionals, friends and stuff, like, how do you see me? What are the characteristics about me that stick out to you? And the serving others came into play. I actually worked with teenage boys more than anything, although we did some group things with the boys and girls. But it seemed like working with kids was a good fit for me, which is why I was attracted to that too. People felt like I was easy to talk to. And so that also lent itself to the psychology side of the world, the mental health side. And I just, it's something where you can go out and make a difference, based on your own personality, your skills. And again, I think how others see you, I think that helps a lot, because sometimes we don't recognize those things in ourselves.
No, we don't. We definitely don't. Sometimes we need somebody to hold the mirror and say, this is what it looks like from outside. And that is a very powerful message. So you said you've done sales, you've done psychology, and you've done Realtor. What else have you done in between?
Oh my gosh. Well, I still part-time am involved with the Legal Shield company that provides access for people on a monthly fee to lawyers to help them with a lot of things like getting their wills done and stuff like that. I've been involved in that company for, I believe, 19 years now. And again, when I was working in mental health, I was kind of doing that as a sideline. And then for 8 years, I did it as a full-time, business. I mean, right out of the first attempt at college, I did some car sales. I was okay at that. I did okay at that, but not great. And I didn't love it. I didn't love it. It was something for me to do to generate money so I could pay my rent and drive a car.
And we gotta do that sometimes, Sometimes you gotta be at that part of life where you're just doing it just for the money.
But then come to that realization that the mental health work was like a good fit for me. I went back to school and full-time, fall, spring semester, full-time during summers, right? As I was working a full-time job or two.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I always tell people it's funny. It's like I became very calendar oriented and sleep was on the calendar. I had to schedule that.
I feel like that is where I am right now. Everything, even responding to a text message is on the calendar right now. But so if you were to grow up in this era, what do you think would be different for you?
Wow. I'd probably be better at video games. I probably would have spent a lot less time playing guitar. I grew up at a time where we didn't even have cell phones and all that, right? We had to be more creative, I think. And I think if anything, maybe that's what young people should do, is just be a little more creative and not so passive in the way information and fun and things come to them. I mean, I remember growing up, we had about a 5-acre field up around the corner from where I lived, and we didn't have any ball diamonds or anything like that around to play baseball. But a bunch of young guys that wanted to play baseball, we would actually get together, a bunch of us, and get our lawnmowers out and go chop that thing down into a diamond so we could go play baseball. You know?
Wow.
I mean, that was pretty creative, So, and I was big into sports too, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but like I played baseball until I was 27.
Oh, wow.
I played football through high school. Maybe could have played some college ball, but I just chose not to. And I played basketball competitively until I was 43.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you have the height for it too.
And 3-on-3 tournaments, and actually traveled around doing that too.
Oh, wow.
Not just the band, but like basketball all over the place too, and played with a great bunch of guys. So, it was not any sitting on the couch, being fed something or just getting involved. Not that there's not a place for all that, right? But I would say maybe young people could be a little bit more adventurous and a little more active and creative.
Yeah, true. I know you have a daughter, right?
I do. She's 20 now. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So
she's a good one, though.
She's a good one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, did you buy her a tablet when she was growing up? Video games?
We actually fought just getting her a phone. I don't think I ever got her a tablet. I don't think so, but she enjoyed her phone. There's plenty of things to do on the phone, plenty of things not to do on the phone that she got into too. So, and then again, I find that to be kind of a dangerous part of what's going on with all the technology and everything now. There's some things that kids shouldn't get into online that they do, and that's kind of scary.
I know, very scary.
I try to protect her.
What would you tell her now that knowing how your career has grown? And that is amazing. I didn't know about the activity part of sports. What would you tell her right now? What would you tell her to pursue the most?
Well, she's 20, and to be honest with you, I don't think she knows what she wants to be when she grows up. And not that I haven't been there myself. I think we all have some portion of our lives where we're like going, what should I really do? And I'm just encouraging her to identify that, just like we were talking about how I found my way into the mental health stuff. Some self-inventory, some asking some other people, some really kind of focusing on some ideas of some things to do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like try whatever fails, you can get up and try again.
And the other thing is that there are so many different ways you can like do some skill building, whether that's, an apprenticeship or an internship or whatever it is, even volunteering, right? To, gain some skills that will be valuable to you when you do decide, okay, I'm going to go this way now. And it helps eliminate some of the things that maybe you don't even want to do.
Yeah, true. So, I totally agree with that. Because they're always transferable skills, right?
Or overlapping.
Overlapping skills. You could be a teacher or even someone like you. You were in the psychology world, and then you moved all the way to Realtor and also marketing and networking. That is a lot of transferable skills within those industries. And I think, what you said is learn before you just gain skills here and then you will get it.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yep.
And what is the one thing you want to tell the people of Kansas City?
Well, I don't know if there's one thing. There's a lot of things. Our city has become very diverse, and I in certain parts of town, people will still hold the door for each other. They'll wave at each other as they're going down the street. And there's other parts of town where, that's not taking place. And I'm not pointing out any specific place, but just kind of as a general feeling that I get. It just felt like when I was growing up, like people were a bit friendlier than they are now. And I just would love to see everybody be like super friendly with each other. Really think about helping other people out. I think we've become a little self-centered in general as a culture. And I would just like to see more people, just be involved with other people and be pleasant and friendly and outgoing and, those sorts of things. I think a lot of it may have to do with all the technology and everything that's gone on, because people have isolated, and then their people skills maybe aren't as great as they were, or they're not thinking about those things like we used to. So I would just like to see us go more that direction.
That would be a nice thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because probably COVID too did that to us.
That probably didn't help. No.
Because we were all isolated, and now when somebody calls next to you, you're like, oh, holy shit, where do I need to run to?
Definitely been a tough time. Yeah.
And what about what is going on in your life? What do you want to tell them about your job, your performances? Where do you want them to find you?
Well, name of my band is Audio Buzz. Come and see me when we get out and about. We'll probably be doing that again starting in the late spring, of next year. Outside of that, all the networking things, networking's for everyone that wants to partake, right? And again, it's just about interacting with others and getting to know other people and creating some relationships. So as you can tell, that's something that I'm really into. So I would love to see people, go explore some things like that. We have a 3 Cans and a Good Time event coming up in a couple of weeks. That's open to everybody. We're just, we're going out there and trying to make a difference in the community by collecting food for a local food pantry and fighting food poverty. Who would be against that, right? But the other question is, are you going to participate in something like that? It's about 90 minutes of food and drinks and music and fun and nice people. And all we ask people to do is just bring a little food to come. It's about an hour and a half. It's just a great time.
And when is that, and where is it?
I believe it's November, I want to say 13th.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I'm drawing a blank on that.
It's okay. We will put it down here.
We just would love people to come out, donate some food, have a good time, be happy to meet everybody, and introduce them to people maybe that they don't know that, that I do, that make those connections.
And sometimes it's just, it opens up your mind when you meet other people out there. It just broadens your mind of the way you think and how other people do their stuff. So I think it's important. I've also been to one of the 3 Cans, and it's always a good time. And the food is always good too.
And I think the last time we did a 3 Cans event, we collected over 7,000 pounds of food, which we never thought when we started this like a year and a half ago. We never thought we'd get to that sort of number. Like we were happy when we even got to 2,000 pounds. So it's something that's been growing, and more people have been getting involved, and it's really hopefully making a difference.
Yeah, and bringing more people within the community together. That would be nice too. Well, Kansas City, that was Scott Willis with Team Real Estate. He's a realtor, a musician, and a dad too. He's proud of that too. And we enjoyed having him at the studio. And if you've not subscribed to this channel yet, please click on that subscribe button. There's always amazing stuff you can learn from us. There's always a little bit of quirky, funny stuff that we're always going to talk about. And these episodes are sponsored by Cradle Identity, which is an influencer marketing company. We work with local creators to make sure that your businesses are out there. It's also sponsored by Superior Imaging. They're the ones on the production, and we have Prince behind the camera. So if you want to do some video recording, if you have a music or an album that you want to do, if you have an event that you want to be recorded or videographed, Superior Image is your guy. And that is all from us. Have a good day. Ciao.